Hey friends! Today's video is going to be a
monthly anti-haul.
Hello! Hi! I'm caffeinated. If you've never seen one of my anti-hauls, hi, welcome to my channel. These are a series of videos that were originally popularized by drag queen and activist extraordinaire Kimberly Clark. I will leave a link to Kimberly's channel up in a card as well as in the description. I love Kimberly, she's great. These are a series of videos meant to be a bit hyperbolic, tongue-in-cheek, to help counteract the like buy, you need to get all the newest products type mentality that we see often within the beauty sphere. And I've been doing these videos for over 2 years now. We are on anti-haul number 31. We are at my age right now. This is the 31st anti-haul that I'm doing. And quick disclaimer, these are products for the most part, unless I'm specifically talking about a brand owner or like a specific action that somebody has done. I'm just talking about makeup, I'm just talking about products, I'm talking about marketing, I'm talking about brands. So please don't take it personally if you like any of these products or if you want to buy any of these. Please don't, because it's products and you're a person and it's different, and please don't die on the hill of defending a brand, because it honestly, like, they don't care about you. With that said, I don't have a ton of products I'm gonna talk about today. I feel like I'm just gonna kind of deep dive about a couple of topics towards the end, because they're like two main things that I wanted to talk about in this video. But I do have some ones at the beginning here that are a bit frivolous and dumb that I'm like, I don't need. And honestly, like, the releases lately have been kind of slow and very boring. Like, I'll be scrolling through things on Instagram. I stopped following a bunch of accounts. I stopped following Trend Mood. I stopped following a bunch of them because I'm just like, I'm so bored. Like, I don't care anymore. And so I was just looking on there. I'm like, oh, what's come out? That's boring. That's boring too. Everything is boring. So let's get started. I have my saved tab here in Instagram. Okay. First we're going to talk about, this is kind of like a larger theme, but there's a new palette from P. Louise. I've never purchased anything from P. Louise. I've heard some not so savory things about the brand owner, so I've never really like delved into it because I wasn't super interested in the products. But this palette that they've released, it's I don't think there's like a name for the palette itself. It's like blues and golds, something like around the world. This palette, I feel like, especially with the marketing images, P. Louise does this, and a lot of brands are doing this these days, especially with like Instagram and like clickability, and you want things to look as pretty as possible. But looking at the images of this palette specifically, everything looks very photoshopped to the point where like you'll look at the swatches and you're like, wait, there's a red in there? And then you look at the pictures of the palette and you're like, there is no red in this, ma'am.
That is not correct.
I feel like P. Louise is one of those brands that is very much an Instagram brand to the point where I don't trust the swatches really at all. Like, I don't trust the images for the quality or even the color, to be frank. Like, looking at the swatches versus the palette, I'm like, this doesn't match, really? And so I'm like, if I can't trust what they're selling me necessarily online, I don't really want to spend money on it. And it's 41 pounds, which is, oh God, what's it, close to... It's over $50 for a palette, and their packaging is very, very bulky from what I've seen. So I'm not interested in really anything P. Louise, and I feel like I've talked about the brand like a little bit before, but this was just like one kind of main thing that I've been noticing, and honestly, people have noticed it over the last few years anyway. I think it's very important to kind of acknowledge when brands are photoshopping their things so much. Like, I feel like one other brand that really does it to a ridiculous degree, like, as much as I love the branding, as much as I love the look of the products, Pat McGrath is another one that really photoshops the hell out of everything. Yeah, I need to like actually gather things and like show kind of Photoshop process so that maybe I can do like a deep dive into like, this is how you can tell that things have been photoshopped. I don't need this palette from P. Louise. It's very large and it's photoshopped to shit. I don't need it. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm sorry.
Next
we have a series of liquid eyeshadows from Natasha Denona. And Natasha Denona is another brand that I've talked about at length for various reasons, whether the palettes are boring or everything's overpriced, yada yada. This falls into the second category of it being overpriced for a single shadow. I've seen a lot of brands, more higher end ones, that have been releasing either like single shadows eyeshadows in a pot, or like liquid eyeshadows that are upwards of $25 to $30 per shadow. And I am not somebody that feels like I'm not gonna splurge on a liquid shadow that's that much money, because I've bought some of the Stila ones and they have dried out before I was even close to finishing them. And pretty much every time I've tried any of these liquid shadows, they dry out way before I'm able to finish it. And if I'm gonna spend $28 on a liquid eyeshadow that's like a multi-chrome, very special thing, I don't want it to dry out before I finish it. Like, I want to be able to get my money's worth out of it, and I feel like having them this expensive and it being like you only buy one at a time. If I wanted any of these like multi-chrome shades, I would just buy them, either like a multi-chrome pigment from like JD Glow or one of the pressed multi-chrome pigments from any number of indie brands that have released things, and literally just add mixing medium, and that way you don't have to have like alcohol in it, which these liquid eyeshadows almost always do because they have to dry out on your eyes. Yeah, liquid multi-chrome eyeshadows, while in theory they look beautiful and gorgeous, this is not worth the money to me. If you're somebody that really is into the look of these and you want to be able to get your money's worth, I would recommend just like looking for pressed multi-chrome pigments that you can just like mix yourself, because then you're gonna get your money's worth out of it. You're not gonna get something that dries out before you finish it. Yeah, it says it's like a water-rich jelly texture with a fresh, hydrating feel. It's either gonna be something like the Stila ones where it dries out in the container, or it's gonna be something that creases, and either one of those doesn't sound like something that I want particularly. So sorry, Natasha.
Don't need it. I'm not gonna buy it.
Next, a quickie from Colourpop here. I have noticed that Colourpop has started to release a lot more products recently, and I know that they weren't for a while, and I just want people to remember that like Colourpop is kind of the reason for, well, they are the reason for the new version of like the beauty market, in that like fast makeup is now mirroring like fast fashion, and Colourpop is pretty much to blame for that to an extent, because they do everything in-house, which is like cool and awesome, whatever, but they have released so many products in such a short amount of time that they have pressured other brands to do the same thing. And while having a multitude of options as far as like brands go is good, but having like product after product released within such a short period of time is not good. It's not good for the consumer, because they're pressured to buy a bunch of things to keep up with the release schedule, and it's not good for the environment because you end up having a lot of waste because people end up buying a bunch of things that they don't end up using. And this palette particularly just looks like a bunch of recycled shadows that they've had in a million other palettes. And save like one or two of the shadows in here, I have the Midas Lemonade palette that does this for me. I don't need this. I don't need this. And if you have anything that's like warm toned, yellowy toned, you absolutely don't need this. And yeah, I don't want Colourpop to just like get back on their bullshit the way they used to, because it was like not exhausting, but like so frustrating and annoying, where it's like, yo, you're putting energy in places you don't need to. Like, you need to put your energy in other places. Like, you need to start listening to people who are criticizing you rather than just like pumping out products for the sake of pumping out products, you know? I don't know. I don't need it. I'm not gonna buy it. Sorry, Colourpop, this ray of sunshine. I'm the first person to love a sunflower themed thing, but like, I don't need this. Sorry, don't need it. So, even if you're newer to my channel, based on some videos I've made recently, I'm sure you know how I feel about Nikita Dragun. Dragun Beauty has released a new, well, lip liners and then an eyeshadow palette with 5 shades. The eyeshadow palette looks like something you get from Claire's.
That's my opinion!
Sorry, like, it's not that exciting. Like, the shape of the pans are just like kids makeup for Easter. Like, it's in the shape of an egg, which like I get it. They have like dragon egg is like the shtick, but like it doesn't look high quality. It doesn't look pretty. Nikita comes out with like the weirdest, most disparate products within her line. It's like, we'll do a color corrector and then a lipstick and then a powder and then a face palette, and it's just like a bunch of things kind of all happening disparately apart from each other, that like it's not something that, like, it's not a cohesive brand. And I'm not somebody who wants to support Nikita really with anything that she does, because she has continuously been a bad influence and a bad representation for influencers colors and a bad representation for people online. Whether it's her current behavior, partying with all the TikTokers, or her making herself look way tanner than she is, to the point of like blackfishing and just like appropriating things that are not hers, and just like being generally problematic and just doesn't take responsibility for the things that she does. So I've never really been a fan of Nikita, and I will continue to not be a fan of Nikita and continue to not buy from her. So I'm not about to give Nikita Dragun any of my money, just like I never have. You know? Also, this palette is ugly as fuck. It looks like Claire's makeup. Like, is that petty? I don't know. Probably. I don't need it. I'm not gonna buy it. Sorry, not sorry. Okay? So back to like the expensive single eyeshadows. Charlotte Tilbury has come out with a Jewel Pot copper red cream eyeshadow with a divine golden sparkle. And it is $35. Fuck! This is basically like a rose gold shade. I feel like Charlotte Tilbury exists within one color scheme. If you were to put all of Charlotte Tilbury's releases from the last 4 years, all of them would be like in the same color family. I feel like they don't branch out with anything as far as being different. I feel like everything looks the same. I feel like everything is overpriced for what you're getting from what I've seen from people reviewing their products. $35 for a single pot eyeshadow that's just like a rose gold.
Why? Why would anybody need that?
I used to own a couple of Chanel single pot eyeshadows back when I was just like splurging for the sake of splurging, back when I was like just out of college, and I was friends with somebody who had like a lot of money, and I was like trying to impress her. Like, there was a time. Not anymore, but back when I did that, I owned a couple of these Chanel eyeshadows, and they dried out before I finished them. And this is the same kind of thing where I feel like these liquid cream eyeshadows that you're spending upwards of $25 to $35 with this, it's just gonna dry out before you finish it, and you're not gonna get your money's worth. Yeah, I feel like nothing really from Charlotte Tilbury you're getting your money's worth. And then there's like a lip gloss that's $32. I'll spend $19 on a lip gloss. I'll spend $20 on a lip gloss, but $32 on a plain rose gold pink sparkly lip gloss. I don't need that. I don't need that. I've never been so impressed with Charlotte Tilbury products to the point where I'm like,
yeah, I should spend over $30 on a lip gloss.
Yeah, I don't need this from Charlotte Tilbury. I don't need it, and I'm not gonna buy it. It's pretty, and that's how they're banking on it. Like, they just put out pretty products and pretty branding images. I know I'm not the target market. I know I'm not, clearly, which is another reason why I don't need it.
Next.
Too Faced has a pumpkin spice palette. Already. I mean, I'm excited for fall, don't get me wrong. I have been looking at Michael's Halloween things online, and I'm like, ooh, I want it all. Your girl loves Halloween and decorating for Halloween 2 months early. You know me. But I don't need a pumpkin spice palette that has like, there's like green and like blues.
3 oranges?
If you're gonna have a pumpkin spice palette, you need more than 3 oranges. Is that just me? In a palette that's like a Too Faced normal size palette, this just looks like any of the Christmas palettes that they've put out. As we know, apparently with Too Faced, pretty much anything that's Too Faced products that are limited edition, the quality is not as good as the regular, as like the year-round products. So I never trust any limited edition things from Too Faced, because time and time again, Too Faced has proven to not put out quality products for limited edition stuff. And this, I doubt, is any different. I'm not gonna buy it. Oh, also the images are really misleading. One of the images is like a lot different. So if you look at the images next to each other, I'm like, these colors don't match. Stop photoshopping the shit out of your product. I don't know how these brands that have been making products for like decades still can't get like a unified like lighting thing for their eyeshadow palettes. It's like, y'all, like, it's not hard to take branding images. Get it together, okay? Get it together, put it in a backpack.
Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together.
Get it together. Watch Jared's sister be in my comment section being like, she's done that before. She corrected me about what my concealer shade was. I'm like, excuse you? Huh? What are you doing? This, I feel like I should have talked about last month, but I didn't even realize it was a thing until after I was done filming, and I was like, wait, what is happening? So if you hadn't noticed, I don't really buy anything from Sephora lately just because I don't need to. Like, I've been browsing Sephora to see like what products are coming out, and then I'll just like go to the websites of the brands themselves and just buy it there, because usually you get a better discount there. Anyway, Sephora has decided to start carrying MLM brands. And MLM stands for multi-level marketing, not man-loving man, in case you are confused. Like, people thought me shitting on MLMs was me being homophobic. No, it's just me shitting on pyramid schemes, because that's what they are, pyramid schemes. So Sephora has started to carry Beautycounter as a brand in their stores. I had never heard of Beautycounter before seeing it inside Sephora, which is why I think I was unaware of it being an MLM. I was on Reddit one day and I was like, wait, what? What is Sephora doing? Like, it's already bad enough that Sephora carries like Moon Juice and Goop shit and all these like woo brands. But MLMs are another level of nefarious when it comes to business practices, because if you are unfamiliar with MLMs, they're pyramid schemes where individual sellers buy into the product, and then they essentially have to buy a bunch of products, sell them to other people, and then recruit folks. And they mostly make their money with recruiting people. 1% of people who work for MLMs actually make a profit, which tells you a lot. There's a handful of people that I subscribe to who do a ton of MLM related content. Kiki Chanel is one of them, and Madison Harnish does as well. So I will leave a link to their channels in the description because I think that they're like very informative as far as MLMs go. And especially right now, to have Sephora legitimizing an MLM in their store, it's very dangerous because it brings the MLM to more eyes, like I said, legitimacy to it, so then people won't feel as bad being recruited by their coworkers and their peers. Right now, especially from what I've seen in Kiki and Madison's videos, MLM sharks basically have been so manipulative and so predatory, like preying on vulnerable people right now because folks are out of work and folks aren't able to like make an income steadily if they're either not able to work from home, or like if their kids are like home from school and they can't go to work. MLMs notoriously prey on single moms, they prey on military wives, they prey on vulnerable communities and people who are struggling and people who are in financial hardships, because those are the only people usually that buy into it, because they get this promise of this like, ooh, yeah, like be your own boss bitch thing, like, you know, or be your own boss babe. It's incredibly predatory. Like, any MLM is so predatory on people that they try to recruit to the business structure, and people go into bankruptcy, people lose money far more often than they make any money. And Beautycounter is just like, it's just like a skincare beauty brand. Like, it's nothing special. The products themselves are very expensive. I was looking and there was like one of the products like $79, which is pricey for Sephora already. But the thing with MLMs, I don't know how exactly it's gonna work within Sephora. When you're selling it on an individual basis, you take commission on the products that you sell. Say you buy like a lip sense product from a distributor, you're paying for the product, but also paying so that person can get commission on it. So the products are priced so high for the actual quality of the products themselves. So things are way overpriced for what you're getting. You're getting scammed into buying something that is not that special. And if you are poached to be an individual distributor, you're getting scammed into that as well. Like, it's all a scam. Like, literally, companies have multiple lawsuits thrown against them. The world of MLMs is like a deep, dark hole of just like financial ruin. And to have Sephora start carrying a brand that operates in a multi-level marketing strategy, like in a multi-level marketing structure, is concerning, to put it lightly. Was it last year when ABH collabed with Roden and Fields, which is another MLM? Like, I don't know how these big companies aren't cued in and clued into the fact that MLMs are like bad companies to work with. Like, clearly they know, like, I'm being facetious, clearly they know and they don't care because they can make a quick buck. And I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what Sephora's thinking. I just know that I'm not here for it and I'm not happy about it. And I feel like not enough people are that aware of Beautycounter being an MLM. I think that's probably going to be Sephora's benefit, because people are going to think that it's a new Sephora brand. They're going to like think it's legit and it's under like the clean beauty brand, which again is another thing that it's like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, it just because something doesn't have like chemicals sales, quote unquote, doesn't mean that it's like great for everybody. Like, I could go on about clean beauty, which I might do. Like, I don't need anything from this Beautycounter brand, and neither do you, frankly. They're just like run-of-the-mill skincare and beauty products for way inflated prices. Don't need it. For the love of God, I do not need it, and I'm not gonna buy it. Like, holy crap. Like, why would Sephora? All of 2020, Sephora's just been like making great decisions. Am I right? No, I'm not. We knew this was gonna come to this, you know? We knew I was gonna talk about this because I had literally so many people ask me to talk about this. Like, as soon as this product was released, I can't tell you the number of people who tag me in things on Instagram and on Twitter. They're like, we can't wait for an anti-haul. And it's like, you guys just know me so well at this point. Like, it's like, you know what I'm going to talk about to some extent. So sometimes when people are like, oh, can you talk about this? It's like, you know I'm going to. Like, oh, this is the palette that I literally can't even say the name of because I would get demonetized. There's so many things to say about this palette, and there's so many things to say about this launch and this release. I mean, I've already said so many things about Jeffree Star. Recently, not so recently, I've made my opinion of him very clear over the years. I think he is a bad person who is a hateful, racist, misogynist bully that just doesn't deserve my support or really anybody's at this point because he has done so much more harm than is worth any sort of redemption. This palette that he released, that he was kind of like teasing for a bit, he's like, well, we have some stuff coming out in August, and we're like, of course he does. Like, of course he does. Like, this palette, it's an all neutrals palette. It's all matte neutrals. And looking at it, frankly, looks like foundation swatches or like that chart where it says how toasted you like your bread. First of all, not exciting, not pretty. It's something that no regular consumer needs if they have like a large eyeshadow collection at this point because everybody already has something like this. There's so many other brands that have neutral palettes that are not this big and this repetitive that you could support a better company and a better brand owner that hasn't hurt people for years. Just like based on the aesthetic alone, the whole top row, all of those shades would look way too similar on the eyes, and it's very repetitive, it's big, it's boring, but the real issue comes with the theme and the titles of the products. Like I said, I can't really say any of them without being afraid of being demonetized. Like, that's where we're at with this. Even the things that his brand was known for when it first started, like taking everything out of the equation, even like, because his eyeshadow palettes when they first started coming out were like objectively like cool color stories and different. So like the stuff that he was known for at the beginning has gone out the window. So there's like literally not even anything special about the brand anymore because he's putting out things that look like Morphe palettes. Like, I made a joke on Twitter that I think some people didn't quite get what I was saying. They're like,
wait, he still is?
I'm like, no, the point is that it looks like a Morphe palette. Like, it looks like a Morphe boring ass palette. So the shtick that he started with isn't even what he's banking on now. So it's like, why support this? The shade names in here are obscene. They're obscene. I am not a prude when it comes to makeup names. I have a blush from NARS from many years ago that's called Deep Throat. Like, I don't care when it comes to that stuff usually. Like, I'm a 31-year-old lady, you know, I don't get up in arms and like upset about brands coming out with things that have like kind of suggestive names. Unless the target audience for that brand are children, which it is obvious that a majority of Jeffree Star's fans are young teenagers. Literally, one of the top replies underneath this post on Twitter I saw was like from a girl saying that she'll have to wait until she gets money to buy for it because she doesn't have money now. She's 14. She's like, I'll have to wait until I get some money to buy it for my birthday because my mom won't buy it for me because of the names. He knows his audience. We see our analytics on YouTube. We know the demographic of people who watch our content. There's no way he doesn't know this. There's no way he doesn't know the demographic of people who are buying his products. So to have this with names ranging from, I didn't even see the names in the small palette, Gagging, Foam Party, Eiffel Tower. God.
Bro.
If anybody tries to review this palette, their video will get demonetized. There's no way that anybody would be able to even talk about this palette like without censoring themselves, which is a huge thing. Shock value and outrage marketing is a thing that he has been doing for a very, very long time. And a bunch of brands have done this where they release things where they know people are gonna get upset. Usually it's like they're looking to kind of antagonize Black women because it gets people talking. Like, outrage marketing is a thing, and this is an example of that to the nth degree. Not only is the name of the palette itself explicit for his young audience, there are shades in here that are named things like craving chocolate. That's one that I can say without censoring myself. But there's other ones like all night long, top, bottom, versatile, implant, I'm shy, and teach me. We know what you're doing, Jeffree. You knew this was going to piss people off, and that is why you did it. And I think that's an important thing for people to realize when it comes to brands, especially brand owners like Jeffree, in that outrage marketing is something that is easy for them. Like, it's easy for brands to do. They just have to they just have to either not do the most. Something like when Tarte released their foundation, and then they were like,
oh, well, release more in this summer because these are people's winter shades.
Outrage marketing goes all the way from something like that, where Tarte didn't release an inclusive shade range, to Jeffree Star having a palette that is so sexually explicit, naming things in a way that he knows he's gonna get a rise out of people. Imagine like a teenager like going to like a sleepover in the distant future when we can have sleepovers again, and they're playing with eyeshadows, and they're like, oh, what color is that on your eye? And you're like, oh, glory. What? Nuh-uh. Nope. No. Like, you know that your products are being sold to children. You know children are buying them. Like, you have meet and greets. But to sell a product with things like this, that either the kids are going to have to ask their parents for money to buy it, or they're going to have to ask their parents to buy it. And if I was a parent, I would not want to have my kid be using a shade called cunnilingus. Like, some of the kids might not know what it means, and then they have to ask, or they have to Google it. Like, no, absolutely not. Like, God, it's gross and tacky, and all for a nude palette. I realize that I have kind of fallen into the like giving him attention when he doesn't need attention in the past, and I'm trying to not do that because he just makes me so angry. Like, he really does. He pisses me off. I think it's important to recognize when outrage marketing is like so blatant, because that's all he can really do at this point. The only marketing that he can do that's gonna get people to talk about it is if he pisses people off. The people who support him already are gonna buy it, and the only way he's gonna get more people to talk about it than the people who already like stan his products are pissing off the people who don't buy his products already. Like, if you put out a product that was like not obscene, people wouldn't be talking about it as much, because he knew that that's how he makes bank. If any teenagers or any people who watch my videos or whatever, or see things that they didn't know before, I think it's good, but I think it's also important just to like be aware that we shouldn't just like stoke the fire. Yeah, he's gross. He's a gross person. He's a gross human being. And like I said, beyond any sort of redemption arc. Of all the people to deserve a redemption arc, it's not him, you know? So yeah, that's all I have to say about that palette, and that is everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. Like I said, if you wanted any of these products, and if you own any of these products, obviously within reason, because I still think that nobody should support Jeffree Star. Products themselves, they're fucking products. Like, I can't police people's purchasing choices, and it's just products. Like I said, don't die on the hill of like standing a brand and defending people on Twitter who really don't even care about you. Like, please don't devote the energy to that, because there's so many more important things that you could devote your energy to, you know? For today's song of the day, I've been listening to a lot of Biffy Clyro recently, because I had heard a couple of their songs a while back, and then they did a cover of one of my favorite Frightened Rabbit songs last year. and I was just like wanting to listen to some different music, especially music from bands that I really had no chance of seeing live anytime soon anyway, so it made me less sad. And I was like, oh, they're British. I won't be able to see them like ever. Or like I've been listening to like Japanese rock bands, like they're never gonna fucking come here either. So like, cool. So I feel less sad about it. But this, I've been listening to a ton of Biffy Clyro, particularly the song that I'm gonna make song of the day. Living is a problem because everything dies. That's dark, but it's a super cool song. Like, I'm super into them now. Like, I've been watching a lot of their music videos, and Simon's really hot, so, you know, that's helpful and nice. Literally, I've been watching music videos and just, like, daydreaming about the photos I could take. It's a lot right now, you know. Like I mentioned before, check out Kimberly Clark's channel. Kimberly Clark popularized these videos in the first place. I owe all of this to her. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. If you are new to my channel and would like to subscribe to see more videos like this, please subscribe. That'd be also super cool. Thanks so much to my patrons. As always, I appreciate y'all so fucking much. Y'all are great and fantastic. I am thinking of starting streaming on Twitch soon, so that's a thing that's gonna happen because I've been watching a lot of Twitch streamers and they seem to be having a lot of fun. You know, that'll happen at some point. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen because I need to diversify my platforms, and it's either Facebook or Twitch. You're picking two different supervillains to choose between. Twitch has a better UI. Please don't take this personally. These are products and you're people. I'm not shaming you for buying any of these. I'm just being a little sassy for the sake of being sassy. Sometimes you just gotta sass about some stupid eyeshadow palettes. Sometimes you just want to get a little salty. I'm gonna go because I've been filming for almost an hour, and this will be a very long video for me to edit. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Stay safe, stay home, wash your hands, wear a mask. Check the description for a bunch of links to bail funds for protests currently going on with the Black Lives Matter protests, as well as a link to register to vote, ton other links. My subscription box just keeps getting bigger and bigger every week, so take a gander down there, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!